Hey, it's Miss Jess with another installment of There's a Boy in the Girls' Bathroom. When we last read together, we read that there was a boy in the girls' bathroom. We are going to start with chapter 34 right now. Life was too weird for Jeff to return to class. Anytime you want to talk again, Carla had said, please feel free to come and see me, even if you just feel like getting out of class for a while. He hoped she had really meant it. He had a lot he wanted to say to her, beginning with, I'm sorry. He slowly walked to her office. He hoped she wasn't with somebody else. He knocked. Carla opened the door and smiled when she saw him. Hello, Jeff. He smiled. Hi, Carla. He stopped because he saw somebody else sitting at the round table. I believe you two know each other, said Carla. Jeff lowered his eyes. Hello, Colleen, he muttered. Colleen Varigold covered her face with her hands. You don't mind if Jeff joins us, do you, Colleen? Carla asked. Colleen shook her head with her hands still over her face. Jeff awkwardly sat down. Mrs. Ebel doesn't know I'm here, he said. I'll write you a note, said Carla. Colleen peeked out from between her fingers. I'm not supposed to be here either, she said. Carla turned to Colleen. So what's the big emergency? Can you say it in front of Jeff? He already knows, Colleen said. She looked at Jeff. You better not tell anybody. I won't, Jeff promised. Tell anybody what? Asked Carla. Colleen walked into the boys' bathroom, said Jeff. I was there washing my face. Jeff, Colleen exploded. You just promised you wouldn't tell. Oops, said Jeff. He blushed. It was only Carla. You were going to tell her anyway, weren't you? Colleen smiled at him. I didn't go there on purpose, she explained to Carla. It was an accident. I don't believe in accidents, said Carla. Colleen stared at her in amazement. She wondered how Carla knew she had gone in after Jeff on purpose. She turned to Jeff. I'm sorry for saying hello to you when you didn't like it. That's okay. Anyway, how was I supposed to know you didn't like it? You always said hello back. I know, I can't help it. Whenever anybody says hello to me, I always have to say hello back. He looked at the picture of the green monster with six hands hanging on the wall. If a big scary monster said hello, Jeff, I'd probably say hello back to it, too. Colleen laughed. Well, what's wrong with that? Demanded Carla. If a monster says hello to you, you should say hello to it. If you don't, then I have to wonder which one of you is really the monster. Colleen frowned. She suddenly remembered that Bradley Chalkers had said hello to her at the beginning of the lunch period, and she had walked away without saying hello back. It made her feel terrible. You can say hello to me whenever you want, said Jeff. She smiled again. Hello, Jeff, she said. Hello, Colleen, said Jeff. I read somewhere, said Carla, that in Zen, the most important rule is that when one person says hello to you, you have to say hello back. What's Zen? Asked Colleen. A religion, answered Carla. She got a book from her bookcase. Here it is. She read aloud from Raise High the Roof Beam, Carpenters, by J.D. Salinger. In certain Zen monasteries, it's a cardinal rule that when one monk calls out hi to another monk, the latter must call back hi without thinking. Jeff should be a Zen monk, Colleen exclaimed with delight. Jeff laughed. I already say hello to anybody who says hello to me, he said proudly. Can girls be Zen monks, too? Colleen asked. Why not? Asked Carla. Colleen laughed with delight. Then she said, Jeff, do you want to come to my birthday party next Sunday? Yes, said Jeff. That's the second most important rule about being a Zen monk. Whenever another Zen monk invites you to a birthday party, you have to say yes. Colleen laughed. You're the only boy so far, she said. I'll invite one more, but only one. I can't invite too many boys. Suddenly she looked very serious. She knew what she had to do. Chapter 35. Before dinner, while it was still light, Bradley's father, bad leg and all, taught Bradley how to dribble. Bradley could hardly wait to show his friends. The next morning, when the bell rang for recess, everyone hurried outside, except Bradley. First, he had to put his paper neatly in his notebook. Then he had to mark his place in his book and put all his pencils in his pencil holder. Then he put everything away neatly in his desk. He rushed out the door. Hello, Bradley, said Colleen. He stopped cold. Colleen closed her eyes tightly, then opened them. With the determination of a Zen monk, she asked, Would you like to come to my birthday party on Sunday? Bradley stared at her. Jeff will be there, said Colleen. He's the only other boy. Everyone else will be girls. I would have invited you sooner, except I just found out when it was. Bradley nodded his head until his mouth worked. Yes, he said. Good, said Colleen, then scooted away. Bradley stared after her, then turned around in a circle as he tried to remember which way he was going. Bradley, called Andy, hurry up, we need you. He ran to the basketball court. He forgot everything he had learned about dribbling. Is he coming? Asked Melinda. Colleen nodded. Lori stuck out her tongue and screamed. It'll be fun, said Melinda. Bradley's not the same as he was. I think he's gotten better. Oh, you can't come any more, Melinda, said Colleen. Why not? She asked, obviously very hurt. Because they're coming and you beat them up. But they started it. Colleen stared at her, hands on her hips. She couldn't believe Melinda was being so unreasonable. I thought I was your best friend, said Melinda. You are, said Colleen, but they're boys. Okay, you can come, but you better not cause any more trouble. I thought I was your best friend, said Laurie. That night, Bradley lay in bed, too excited to sleep. He couldn't wait until tomorrow when he would see Carla again. He had so much to share with her, and it was all because of her magic book. He turned on the light above his head and read aloud to Ronnie and Bartholomew. They laughed whenever he did. I just met Ace. He's my parents' lawyer. Guess what? He's crazier than my aunt and uncle put together. The first thing he said to me was, Do you like peanuts? They're okay, I answered. Good, he said. He gave me a peanut and I ate it. Do you want another peanut? He asked. I shrugged. So he gave me another peanut and I ate that one too. Big deal. You must really like peanuts a lot, he said. I told you he was crazy. I want you to remember that, he said. If anybody asks you, you really like peanuts a lot. Okay, I really like peanuts a lot, I said. Then he gave me 3 more peanuts. Eat these. I ate them. You just ate 3 peanuts in 5 seconds, he said. Can you believe it? He had timed me. Tell me he isn't crazy. He isn't crazy, laughed Ronnie. Why is he making such a big deal over peanuts? Asked Bartholomew. I don't know, said Bradley. There was a loud knock on his door and then his father entered. It's past your bedtime, Bradley, he said. Okay, said Bradley. He reached for his light. Oh, you were reading, his father noticed. Well, that's all right then. You can stay up if you want to read. Bradley smiled. Once again, the magic book had kept him from getting into trouble. So, what did the kids think of your dribbling? I forgot how, Bradley admitted. He hated to disappoint his father. I guess we need to practice some more, said his father. Maybe this weekend I'll put up a backboard on the garage. He said goodnight and walked out of Bradley's room. Come on, I want to hear about the peanuts, said Bartholomew. Bradley continued reading. So then he asked me, are you good at math? Well, I don't like to brag, but math happens to be my best subject. Big deal. Okay, here's a math problem for you, he said. If you can eat 3 peanuts in 5 seconds, how long would it take you to eat 50,000 peanuts? I got out a pencil and paper and figured it out. About 23 hours and 9 minutes. That's less than 1 day, isn't it? He asked. Yes, I said. There are 24 hours in a day. He's supposed to be my parents' lawyer, and he doesn't even know how many hours there are in a day. Remember that, he told me. If anybody asks you, you can eat 50,000 peanuts per day. I laughed. Who would ask me that? The police. The chapter ended there. We're going to read chapter 36. Bradley giggled as he walked to Carla's office for his regularly scheduled appointment. He couldn't wait to tell her all that had happened to him. She'll be so happy, he thought. She was waiting for him in the hall just outside her office. But before she could say anything, he beat her to it. Hello, Carla, he said. It's a pleasure to see you today. I appreciate coming to see you. She smiled. The pleasure is mine, she replied. He laughed. He got a kick out of being polite. They shook hands, then went inside to the round table. She was wearing a dark blue shirt, almost black, with little white stars on it. She looked like nighttime. So what's new? She asked. He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. He didn't know why, but for some reason he didn't want to tell her. What's new with you? He asked. With me? Asked Carla. Nobody ever asked me what's going on with me before. You're always asking me what's new, he said. Why can't I ask you? You can, she replied. You can ask me anything you want. Let's see, what's new? I bought a new shower curtain yesterday, but that doesn't sound like very interesting news, does it? What color? Oh, sort of beige. I don't know. It doesn't really have a color. That's a good color, said Bradley. It sounds beautiful. It's okay, said Carla. What happened to your old shower curtain? He asked. It started getting a little rotten, said Carla. Was it also beige? No, said Carla. I think it was yellow when it was new, but it was sort of a greenish brown when Colleen invited me to her birthday party, he blurted, and then it all came pouring out of him. Jeff's invited too. We'll be the only boys. Everyone else will be girls. Jeff and I are friends now. The other guys like me too. We play basketball together. At first I was afraid to shoot the ball, but then everybody said, shoot, Bradley, shoot. So I shot, and I made it. Everyone was amazed. So was I. I still miss a lot more than I make, but I'm getting better. Everyone says so. My father taught me how to dribble. He's going to put a basket over the garage. At first, they wanted to beat me up, but I said, hello, Jeff, and he said, hello, Bradley, and then Andy asked me if I wanted to play basketball. Then Colleen asked me to her birthday party, and I said yes, and she said good. She would have asked me sooner, except she just found out when she was born. Fortunately, Carla had heard most of it already, otherwise she would not have understood a thing he said. It's all because of you, said Bradley. You did it, Bradley, not me. It was your magic book. My book? What's that got to do with... Bradley, what's wrong? He was crying. 1 second he was beaming about her magic book, and the next he was sobbing and shaking all over. Bradley? He covered his face with his hands, and tears spilled out of his eyes. What is it? Asked Carla. What happened? He shook his head. Carla rose from the table, got a box of tissues, and placed it in front of him. He pulled out a tissue, but didn't use it. I've never been to a birthday party, he blubbered, and then he hiccuped. Not a real one where other kids are there. He hiccuped again, and then blew his nose. A long time ago, when I was in 3rd grade, I went to one, but then they made me go home because I sat on the cake. Well, you're a lot smarter now than you were when you were in 3rd grade, said Carla. But I don't remember what to do, Bradley whined. Do I have to bring my own chair? Why would you have to bring your own chair? For musical chairs, that's why I sat on the cake. I got mad because there was no place to sit. He sniffled. Will there be ice cream? Don't you like ice cream? What if they don't have enough for me? What if they only have enough for everybody else? And what about pin the tail on the donkey? You don't have to bring your own donkey, said Carla. He laughed through his tears. But what if I stick it in a bad place? You want to know what I think? Asked Carla. I think you're a little overwhelmed by all that has happened to you. It scared you. You think you're Cinderella. Cinderella? He repeated and laughed again. You're Cinderella, and you've just been invited to the ball, and now you're afraid that right in the middle of Colleen's birthday party, everything will suddenly turn into a pumpkin. He wiped his nose and his eyes on his tissue. You're afraid all the good things that happen will suddenly disappear. You're afraid everyone will suddenly stop liking you. But this isn't a fairy tale, Bradley. Your friends like you for who you are. My book wasn't magic. The magic is in you. Do I have to bring her a present? He asked. You don't have to do anything, said Carla, but it's a nice thing to do, don't you think? Colleen invited you to her birthday party because she likes you, and you give her a present because you like her and because you want to help celebrate her birthday. What should I get her? Should I get her a doll? Is that what girls like? I don't know. Everyone likes different things. Give her something you like. If you like it, then she probably will too. Give her a gift from the heart. How about a shower curtain? He asked. If it comes from the heart, said Carla. He smiled. When it was time for him to return to class, Carla said, I enjoyed our visit very much. Thank you for sharing so much with me. The pleasure was mine, he replied. He had been waiting to say that. And that is where we will leave off today. We will start next time with chapter 37. Have a good one. Thanks for listening.